Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Bay Area Focus. I am your host this morning, Roberta Gonzalez. I'm filling in for Michelle Grego. Today, we're going to hear about a nonprofit changing lives in Bangladesh, a center champion women of all ages, and an art space focusing on the Latino experience. But first, how does a sustainable economies law center transforms Bay Area communities? Well, Janelle, Orsi, and Ricardo Nunez from SELC join me right now. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
It's my pleasure. I'm so excited about this segment because I know I'm going to learn a lot here today with our audience. First off, what is SCLC, Janelle?
So Sustainable Economies Law Center has been around for 5 years, and we're focused on helping communities create their own sustainable sources of food and housing, jobs and energy. And so we provide legal services. We have a walk-in legal advice clinic. We do a lot of education and workshops. We train lawyers to support communities in doing this, and we do some policy advocacy as well.
So does that mean, Ricardo, that you would go into, let's say, Oakland, or you would go into Emeryville, and you would have people sign up to come see you and learn how to perhaps urban garden?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. And not only can they sign up, but they can walk in. We try to create a space that's opening and welcoming for people, that we're trying to lower those barriers to provide the legal resources to the communities and to these projects and enterprises that are really going to lift up our local communities and local economies.
So Janelle, perhaps you could name a couple. What besides like urban gardening or farming do you provide?
Well, we just want to support any type of community-owned, locally owned, small-scale business. So we get a lot of home-based food enterprises that come and get legal advice from us. We get people who are buying a house together or creating a shared housing arrangement, a whole variety of things.
So perhaps if I wanted to open up a cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, come in and talk to us. We'll even have you, we could advise you on how to make it a worker-owned cafe, especially.
And what is the purpose for all this? So people can generate more business in their own community and work together as a village?
Yeah, so basically we saw that the architecture of our economy is really displayed by how ownership is structured. And so when we're looking at who owns the businesses in our local communities and who actually benefits from the profits that are generated, what we're trying to do is really localize that distribution of the profits. So for businesses, we want to create businesses that are owned and controlled by the workers in that community. Or if we're trying to create housing, the housing should have shared ownership and shared responsibility so that more people have affordable housing for themselves. So really it's just trying to look at what are some viable solutions within the marketplace that we can provide resources for.
So tell me about your renewable energy program.
So the vision for our community renewable energy program is that every community should be able to control the means to producing its own renewable energy. So rather than buying all of its energy that's produced at power plants outside of communities, everybody would have small-scale solar projects in their communities, and the benefit would go to them, and the financial benefit.
So you're saying instead of paying my PG&E bill, perhaps I can have like these solar panels on my rooftop that will benefit me and keep my energy costs down, and it's renewable energy. But how do I make my own power?
Well, I actually don't know. You have to ask a scientist about that one. But our hope is that community members will come together and form cooperatives to own solar projects, whether it's on their roofs or over churches or schools.
That is so cool. I know of a particular project, and just comes to mind right now, in Sunol, where they are doing organic gardening. And it's a community of people who've gotten together and have bought an acre of land from the city of Sunol. And they go in there and they plant, and then they take their goods to farmers market around the Bay Area. So is that kind of like what we're talking about?
Exactly. That's exactly what we want to see, because there are so many large farms right now. A lot of farmers are retiring, and we want to make sure that small farms can get off the ground and new farmers will be able to thrive.
So with the cooperatives that you assist and that you help, do you end up doing business with them yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, we like to patronize the businesses that are going to be building a local economy and really creating resilient communities. So, yeah.
So if I don't know anybody particularly that's starting their own business, their own cafe, their own power company or their, just their own maybe dress store or whatever. Is it beneficial for me just to make sure I shop within my community instead of going to like the big establishment that I won't name names about right now, that I always need my coupons to go shopping at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a goal now. Whenever I go shopping for clothing, I ask the store owner, who owns this store and where was this made and where did the cotton come from? Because I want to make sure that the benefit of my dollars will stay in my community and support my community. And one day I hope there'll be a lot of worker-owned clothing companies that I could buy from, but there aren't many yet.
I like that idea. I live in Pleasanton, so I try to keep my money within my community. In Pleasanton, I love and enjoy shopping in Main Street, but there's no shoe stores there. There's no shoes, so I'm barefoot today. I'm doing this interview and I'm completely barefoot. Okay, Ricardo, what is your goal? What is your idea? What if you had one wish for SCLC, what would that be?
If I had one wish for SCLC, it would be to replicate our model across the country so that other communities can have the legal resources available to create that solid foundation for the long haul. So looking at different type of enterprises, even nonprofits. We advise a lot of nonprofits that are creating social enterprises themselves, and they need that support and legal assistance. How does employment law work in a nonprofit, or how do we raise money for this social enterprise that we're starting? And so they come to us to ask those types of questions. So to have in each community around the country so an organization like the Sustainable Economies Law Center there to provide those services, it would be a vision. Yeah.
Thank you both so much. Thank you for providing this service to our community. You're so inspirational. I'm so happy for what you are doing to help us out. And if you would like more information on Sustainable Economies Law Center, we've made it easy for you. All you have to do is log on to SCLC.org. That is SELC.org. Now, coming up, a South Bay organization determined to spark social economic change in Bangladesh. You won't want to miss it.